Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Saturday edition of Today in Sports Betting. This is part one, aka the NBA. And of course, I can't do it alone. I got to have my partner with me, and he is here today. It is the one, the only Scott Reichel. Scott, happy Saturday, brother. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Pretty solid results for me in the association yesterday. I gave out a lean on the Brooklyn team total under, which was going to be around 104. They didn't get to 100 like I thought they wouldn't. They can't score, simply put. Denver forgot to show up. I know that I mentioned in the past I'm not a big Malone guy in the playoffs, and I'm assuming he's probably going to get fired if they lose the series. So keep that in mind. Boston was a huge sweat for me as my play of the day at -5, but they ended up getting the win thanks to a nice 10-0 run in the last 2 minutes, thanks to a clear path foul and a couple of clutch rebounds from Marcus Smart. Shout out to Marcus Smart. And other than that, though, I got the Clippers to win the championship, and I still have the Clippers -1.5 in the series against Dallas. And they came out with a nice win, and I never root for injuries against anybody, but Doncic getting injured and not being 100% should probably help the Clippers' chances moving forward.
Yeah, it's a brutal injury. That is a brutal injury
He
for
came
sure.
back into the game, which I thought was questionable because they were already down 20, but or 18. They cut it to 8 on a BS three-pointer at the end of the game. So it was a really double-digit win. But I thought it was more excusable than the Lillard injury for Stotts' purpose. So
Yeah.
I blame Stotts more for that.
Yeah, I had an in game on that Dallas. I took it 5.5, and
How about Paul George?
good. Yeah, very good.
Do you think he's worse than Middleton right now? Or who would you rather have on your team right now, Chris Middleton or Paul George? I'd probably take Paul George, even though
that would be my answer, only because I think there's more potential there for when they both stop sucking. Apparently, assuming one of them does.
It's tricky for me because Paul George can give you rebounds and assists, but Paul George will never stop shooting. I feel like Middleton will actually stop shooting if he realizes, maybe this isn't my day.
I'll tell you what, that shot at the 20 seconds left there, Dallas inbounding the ball down 8. I've got a 5.5 ticket. That pretty much summed up my day as Porzingis just basically fell down. And that
basically, even though Dallas would have fouled anyway and it would have started.
I know.
It would have started the circus. So, yeah. But overall, the NBA was pretty solid for me. The one shocker was Denver. Especially
that was a killer for me. We had the 2 premium plays in the NBA today. We had Toronto to cover. They did that no problem. And then we had the over in the Denver-Utah game. And we talked about this off air. If you'd have told me I'm going to give you Utah, they're going to score 125 and you're going to shoot for 218, I would have said, how much can I bet on that?
Yeah.
So I would love that. I'll play it every time. The only as long as they don't beat them by 30, I'm golden.
I watched the first quarter, and at that point, I just knew Denver was going to get routed.
14 points in the first. 14 points in the first quarter. That is going to hurt your side. It's going to hurt your total if you're on the over and Denver. So,
you think Denver comes back, or do you think I got to assume they're going to put in a lot more effort moving forward?
I don't know. That was such a dreadful.
That was awful.
Yeah, I don't know. They basically Denver. They've lost all 3 games. They've won out of the 12 quarters. They've lost 11 of them basically.
Basically, I know that I think they were up a decent amount at half in game 1. Then they choked it in the third quarter. Then came back in the fourth. I think.
All right. I thought they were down. I thought they were down the whole game. All right.
It could be. I don't know. I really don't remember. I honestly slept through game 1. I just remember having a Denver money line ticket in a parlay of mine.
Nice.
But yeah, Utah's been the better team, and Mike Conley showcasing that dad strength as he was phenomenal today.
Yeah, Mike Conley was definitely the factor. So
Denver can't guard anybody. So we'll keep that in mind moving forward.
Take a look at today's card, Scott. We got the Bucks kicking it off against the Magic. Bucks -12. 226 is the number in that one. The Bucks going to go back to back and just give them what for?
The truth is, I didn't see any of the first half when they did most of the damage. I turned it on the second half, and I thought the Bucks looked pretty underwhelming. So I know Orlando started 3 for 27, something like that. Like they couldn't
very cold.
They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat in game 1. So at least in the first half, second half they kind of came on a bit strong. I believe they cut it to 8 at one point, but then Milwaukee
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah, then Milwaukee ended up covering. I really don't have much of an opinion on this series. I don't want to make a massive cop-out here, but besides Giannis, am I impressed with anybody on Milwaukee? No. I look at Orlando, maybe Aaron Gordon plays, maybe he doesn't. Am I impressed by anybody besides Vucevic on the roster? No. I think Milwaukee's the better overall team, but I guess if I had to lean anywhere, I'd lean to maybe Orlando team total under, but I'm not exactly thrilled with it. But you're looking at the projection for that game. You're looking at roughly 119, 107.
Yep, 107
As your breakdown.
107 is going to be your team total there.
I think Orlando could get shut down. Milwaukee has to have somebody guard Vucevic because he's just doing whatever he wants out there. If you can stop Vucevic,
who would you suggest at this point, Scott?
It really depends on how much energy you want to save for Giannis because I don't know if Orlando can stop him either. But you got to put Lopez or Vucevic on him or somebody. You got to try. At some point, Vucevic is putting up 30 points a game, and nobody else in Orlando can shoot. So you probably should guard him and let other people beat you. I'm fine if Gary Clark takes 10 shots in a game. So I think Milwaukee will make some adjustments. I think this game will be on the lower scoring side because I think both defenses have actually performed pretty admirably so far in the series. So I think this total is a bit high. I'm going to lean to Orlando team total under, but I will not be playing this game at all. Maybe an in-play wager if Milwaukee starts off slow, but I can't touch it. You have any thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a premium play on the total, and I'm going to give a slight lean to the Bucks. I think they're still the far superior team here to Orlando.
They are. Just you're looking for the second guy to step up, and the only thing I have to wonder is if Orlando decides to trap Giannis. I know he had 28 and 20 in game. They can't guard. It's a waste of time. But if they at least try to even double down more on the wall concept. Middleton can't shoot. Bledsoe can't shoot. Connaughton was decent in game 3, but he's a role player. Korver hasn't really done much. And Lopez thinks he's a three-point shooter, and he's not.
You find Brook Lopez in the corner where the one spot will put up a three.
Correct. It's just you look at Milwaukee's team, and you think to yourself, how the hell did this team win 60-plus games? I don't know.
Best record in the NBA, man.
I know.
I'll tell you how they did. They did it by playing defense.
Correct. And that's why I think they're going to – that's why I'm leaning Orlando team total under because I think if they're going to win this game, I don't see much of a track meet. And Orlando isn't exactly a fast-paced offense, if you know what I mean.
No. It takes them a while to be able to find Vucevic.
Yeah. So for that reason, I'll lean to Magic team total under at 107. I kind of wish it was 110, but of course you're not going to get that now. But I'll lean to the under. I think Milwaukee has to make some adjustments on Vucevic.
Well, this is an Orlando team that averages 107.3 points per game during the regular season.
And they're playing against the best defensive team in the
league. You got to think going against the best defense. That's good for at least 1 or 2 points. Yeah.
And Aaron Gordon might not be playing. So yeah, that'll be my lean on that game. I'll take Orlando team total under.
All right. Yeah, I've got.
You win in Milwaukee, and you got a premium.
Yeah. I'm not just looking at what the injuries are. Gordon's still questionable. Carter Williams is downgraded to doubtful.
Well, if Carter Williams plays, that's good for the under because he can't shoot and he's good at defense.
Yeah, good point. All right. Next game on the board is Pacers Heat.
It feels like deja vu because it's basically the same line every single game.
5 for 214.5. This has not been a challenging number to the Heat as of yet.
I said Miami in 5 before the series. It might end in 4.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Indiana's trying. It's not like it's been a blowout or anything. It's just Miami's the better team. It's really not even close.
Well, I mean, they beat them by 9 and 12. So
they beat them by 9 and 12, but Indiana was within single digits with like 5 minutes to go in both games before Miami went on like a late run.
Yeah, this is just it's hard basketball to watch. It's a good defensive. It's another good defensive battle.
It's the closest you'll get to like a throwback early 2000s basketball game.
Yeah, it really is. I see no reason not to like the Heat here.
I'd still take the Heat. Oladipo played. People were hoping he would play. He played decently. And at the end of the day, Adebayo has been dominating in the paint. He was kind of quiet in game 2, but defensively he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And Butler's doing whatever he wants, and Duncan Robinson and all these three-point shooters is running around the perimeter, and Indiana has no idea what they're doing to stop them. Miami's so deep. It's just Indiana doesn't have the depth.
I think Butler will keep them from won't allow them to take their foot off the gas too.
I agree, and I think he's done a great job on T.J. Warren, and he's also not afraid to take big shots in the fourth quarter, which he's done really well in the series. So Miami, I just think, is wired a little bit differently. Props to Indiana. I think if Sabonis was healthy, I think they would have a shot to win the series. But without him, I thought it was going to get ugly from the start, and it's been respectable. But at the end of the day, Miami is just putting their foot on they're just putting their foot on the gas right now.
Rockets Thunder. Rockets, they finally got the right team favored. Rockets -3.
It's about time.
224. It's one of the
This
of the
total
lower.
I find very questionable.
What's that?
I find this total very questionably high.
Without well, it's
Westbrook might play. If I'm Houston, I wouldn't even play Westbrook because you're already up 2-0. You might as well just rest him and keep him healthy.
I don't think you play Westbrook till you lose a game. That's
what I'm saying. So
that's what I would do. But
yeah, I feel the same way.
um,
You don't think this total? You don't think this total is a bit high? Because the Thunder offensively don't really go up tempo, and Houston absolutely just clamped them in the first 2 games of the series.
well, it's an interesting total because it's the lowest total that the Rockets have faced in the bubble. However, no team has had more unders this year than the Rockets.
Houston's
So
been a top 5 team defensively in the bubble. They've been great defensively.
they have, and they're constantly overvalued on the totals market by the public.
Yeah.
The number is consistently too high.
Am I expecting Harden to go 2 for like 15 again? No. But if you look at the supporting cast once again, I'll tell you what, though. I give props to Oklahoma City. They were really good defensively for the bulk of that game. Their offense just completely fell apart. And I don't think they can solve Houston. Because Houston just keeps switching every pick and roll, and Oklahoma City just keeps going ISO, and they can't do anything. So I think the total's too high. I think Houston could win this game again, 110, 104, something like that. I just think the total's completely mispriced, which means either they know who's refereeing the game, and that could be a disaster, or B, they're expecting some type of outburst from Harden and company, but I don't see it. Oklahoma City has just been an under team through thick and thin, and Houston's overpriced for overs. So I'm leaning under. I think this game's gonna be low scoring.
Now you've got a recent update on Russ that says he may go.
As of right now, no. I can look at that briefly. I'm assuming he won't play because
I've still got out indefinitely.
I'm assuming he won't play because why the hell would you play if you've already won the first 2 games of the series?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you got him out for this one.
It says he's been ruled out for game 3.
Okay, there you go.
So he's not playing. I don't think it changed anything. I think it's good for the under, though.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, that's
Houston takes up so much time on the shot clock, underratedly, because they have so much isolation dribbling from Harden. So they're taking threes late in the clock, and Oklahoma City's running half-court sets and playing good defense as well. I got to assume that game's going to be pretty physical. So I like the under there.
Okay, that's solid. I'll take Houston. I'll take Houston to roll. I don't think.
Well, I thought, I agree with you on Houston. I was kind of just looking. The total just jumped out at me because I thought the spread was, compared to the first 2 games, this was the most necessary adjustment that the books have made. The total's the shocker to me when I'm looking at the line.
Except, again, it's the lowest total they've had. What do you think they're going to put up 219 there? They're not going to do that with Houston.
I'm just saying, based on how the series has gone, I think 224 is way too high.
It is. Perhaps, but it's a market. It's you have to remember it's not what's going to happen. It's what the market.
I'm just saying, where do you think this line closes? Like 220? 220? No, 220 is too low. 222? No. 222 maybe?
I don't think the under gets pounded.
I personally think it's going to get pounded, but that's just my opinion.
All right, I don't think it goes below 223.
Okay, we'll see. Right. I think Houston will get pounded, but we'll see about that.
That's when you know you got gamblers, when you're betting on the bets.
Well, when you do overnight plays of the day, that's kind of what your job is, and that's what I was doing with the Celtics yesterday. I said that they'd open up at 5, they'd probably close at 6, 6.5, and they close at 6.5. So every now and then you get a line move estimation correctly, and you can make some value. So I think this line will drop on the under. I think Houston will close 4.5.
I think that's possible. Yeah, I think.
I mean, they're already up to 3.5 in some spots, and it's not even 2 a.m. by me yet. So
yeah, I've got them juiced over. Yeah, by the way, that is when the show is going on. It is 1:30.
It's 1:30 Eastern.
Yeah, as we record. So
yeah,
and these are likely to be pretty solid. But when we get into our baseball stuff, that could be crazy wrong. So just a word to everybody. The last one on the board: Lakers, Blazers. Which team shows up here for each of them?
So this is going to be my play of the day. Truth is, I probably should have thought my play of the day was going to be before we actually went on air. But yeah, my play of the day is going to be on this game.
All right.
So I'm just going to skip it entirely.
All right. I'll take the chalk. I'll take the Lakers, man. I think I think they put it together. I think they managed to just blow them out, and LeBron had arguably one of his worst games statistically in many, many months. I don't think that happens again.
Like, I don't want to ask you about the LeBron thing because I can't really discuss the game in general because of my play today.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with LeBron?
Getting old, buddy.
Have you noticed it also? Because I don't know if he's just disinterested or what the story is, but he's just not doing anything.
He feeds off the fans too. I think there's a little bit of that. I think
I think that could be true as well. Of course, Anthony Davis is the matchup nightmare that I said going into the series. Portland can't guard him, and they've proven repeatedly they cannot guard him. But really, will LeBron go last game? He went like, what did he go? 4 for 11?
Yeah, it was. I think he had 15 points.
I didn't even think he had 15. All I know is that Gary Trent was picking him up full court, and LeBron kept turning it over, and he just was not looking for a shot at all. So I don't know if it's Gary Trent's energy that's giving LeBron problems, but it looks like he's sleepwalking out there. I'm not really sure what the story is, but I don't know. So that's something to keep in mind. But I'm just going to say a bold take here. As of right now, LeBron is not playing like a top 5 player in the world. And I'm gonna get hate from LeBron fans in the comment section. LeBron at 10 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 turnovers. So as I said before, he keeps turning over the ball. He was 4 for 11 from the floor. Yeah. So 10, 7, and 6. I mean, you're guarded by Gary Trent Jr. and Carmelo Anthony. I don't know what to tell you. I think LeBron right now is playing like a top 10, fringe top 10 player. Definitely not top 5 based on how he's playing games.
You're going for 10, 7, and 6. I don't even know how you can call him a top 10 player.
That's fair.
You know,
people are going to say, well, LeBron's conserving his energy and he doesn't need to score. And what? I don't care. You're guarded by Gary Trent Jr. and Carmelo Anthony. Go to the rim. Do something. It's one thing if you're missing shots. LeBron's only attempting 11 shots. Like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, you and I definitely got that one wrong because we both agreed that he was going to have to take more on his own shoulders and assert himself, and he did exactly the opposite.
I said LeBron would assert himself, but I said that I didn't think he'd beat his team total. I thought AD would go off, and he did. I was expecting AD to be the main offensive guy in that game too, and then LeBron. I didn't think he'd finish with 10 points. I thought he'd finish with like 20, but I thought, what was he, 28.5, 29?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what they are doing is they're playing defense.
I think your video cut off, by the way. I think. Not sure.
Okay.
If not, then it's fine. But oh well. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what the story is with LeBron. It's just you're back. LeBron is just I don't know. Seems like he's sleepwalking out there, and you could say that he's saving energy, but I think that's a load of nonsense. I think that he was resting for the last 5 games of the regular season. And the playoffs came around, and he just doesn't look like he cares. Or
I don't buy it.
Maybe he's covering up an injury. I
think that's possible.
But he's clearly something's off, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, that 45-footer he took the other night, you're like, what in the world are you doing?
I saw that. You had the second game where he dribbled it off his foot, being pressured half court, and then he threw it off Azonia's back later in the game.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
When he drove and decided to dish at the last minute and nobody there.
All I know is that he's averaging 5 turnovers a game in the series, and he's averaging how many points he averaging? I forgot how many points he scored in game 1. It wasn't good.
No.
LeBron in the series is averaging 16.5 points per game.
Okay, so
which is okay if you're. It's okay if you're. I don't know, Lou Williams, but not if you're LeBron.
He had 23 in the first game.
Yeah, well, he had 23 in the first game. He had the massive triple-double. I know. I still personally didn't think LeBron looked that spectacular in game 1, but
the quietest triple-double you ever see.
It was. They mentioned the stats at the half. We've talked about it before. I don't know. Yeah. I think LeBron, he might be concealing an injury or something because something just looks off. I don't know what it is.
Agreed. All right, bud. That's the NBA show. Got four picks there. I like the Lakers to cover. I think that defense. At the end of the day, I think it's the Lakers defense is going to win that game for them. I don't love Lillard with a dislocated finger. I know it's on the other hand, but that still can't help. I agree. It just can't. So, all right, that's the show. Good luck, everybody. Appreciate you watching. As always, check out winnersandwhiners.com for the deep dives into not just these games, but every other game in America every single day. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us at Winners and Whiners, you guys take care. Hang in there. Click on the next video. Check out our MLB picks if you're so inclined. And, we'll see you on that video. Take care.